today is the 11th of October 2023, and we've been doing a lot of graph work. So today we are going to do more graphs, okay, more graph, and then we are going to look at two quadratic equations and plot them as graphs, okay, and find the point of intersection. Okay, and then we'll do them algebraically as well. Okay, now thank you to everyone who has been watching our videos. Okay, if you've not considered it already, please consider subscribing, sharing, liking and following us. I would really appreciate that. And if you are not the account holder, please ask for permission before you do that, or speak to your parent or guardian if you are below the legal age, so that they can help you open an account. Okay, please, I normally write follow my notes /script in the comment section. We are doing maths, so you need to be listening and following the notes. Okay, so for instance, this is the square root of 40. Okay, so if you hear the root of 4, the square root of 4, go by the notes. Okay, it will help me and help you a lot. Okay, I will really I can really use your help on that. The third part is beware of scammers. Okay, we all know that, but I'm just sounding the warning. Okay, not everybody who send you a message if it's coming from me. Okay, if I want to message you, then I know you, or if I'm sending a friend request, then I really know you. But if I don't really know you, then I can't send you a friend request as at now. Okay, so please beware. Don't be giving information about yourself. If somebody says they need you to donate to a charity, an orphanage, a very ill person, you don't know the proof of that. Okay, and don't put your money in an account because, or maybe you think you are supporting this channel. No, it's not me. Okay, so please beware of scammers. Don't fall for it. Recap. Okay, last lesson we are doing a lot of graph work. We drew two graph equations, okay, on one graph. Okay, that's very important. Okay, so two equations, we did it on one graph. One was a linear equation which gave us a line, and the other one was a quadratic equation which gave us a curve. Okay, a curve, and we said that curve is called a parabola in maths. Then we found the point of intersection on the graph. Okay, and then we use the formula, the linear graph equation and the quadratic graph equation. We simplified it, and then we found the x and y, okay, which is the same as the point of intersection on the graph. Is similar. Okay, our graph wasn't on a graph paper, it wasn't to scale. Okay, we use eye judgment. Okay, so there might be a little bit plus or minus there, but we got answers close by. Okay, I gave you this formula: s equals minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, and I asked you to update your flashcard. Okay, where as squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay, and a is never equal to 0. For you to use this information, for you to use this formula, okay. Now, I said I will use some videos to teach you how to solve quadratic equations, and when you can solve them to get whole numbers, integers, then you have to fall on this formula. So I'll do a few videos to explain to you, okay. And then when we found the x's, we got to x value because of the plus or minus, okay. We substituted it in the linear equation, and I said to you that the linear equation is simpler than the quadratic. Even if you put it in a quadratic equation, you are going to get the same answers, but it's simpler to put it in the simple equation than in the complex one. So we chose the linear equation, and we got values for y, okay. So because it's a lot, okay, if I brought another question, then it means I wouldn't be able to do what I plan to do today. And what I plan to do today is similar along the line. So if you've not watched the last video, go and watch it and catch up with us in this video. Our starter from today is very simple. I want you to practice using a scientific calculator, okay, because we've spoken about that, okay. And if you are going to do your Gcse next year, which is a few months away, or in a year's time, you should be getting used to the calculator, okay. So find the square root of some numbers using your scientific calculator, not your phone, okay. If you haven't got a calculator, start thinking of buying one. I got mine for $9.99, and I've had it for more than 8 years now, okay. And there are new ones, the updated version, okay, which is allowed in the exams, okay. So this is what I did. This is the function I use. I'll show you here. That is the square root, okay. So you put the on button, you use this AC to clear off your previous calculation. So you press this sign here, and then whatever you want, you press. So if you want the square root of say 9, you press this button here and put in 9, okay. If you want the square root of 81, you press this function here and put in 81, okay. Those are easy, you know, but assuming you want the square root of 31, you press that is the square root function here, okay, there, okay. So thank you very much for that. So our starter for today, square root of 40, and put them to one decimal place. So the square root of 40 is 6.3 if you do it properly, one decimal place. Don't use your phone, don't cheat, it's up to you. if you want to do that, but you need to start getting used to your calculator, and the more you use it, the more because you are preparing for an exam. Okay, so don't wait 2 days before the exam, then you start panicking. It's like, and then you start pressing everywhere because you are not familiar with it. The second one is the square root of 28. 5.3, this is to 1 decimal place because they said we should find it to 1 decimal place. Square root of 71, 8.4, 1 decimal place. Square root of 80, 8.9, 1 decimal place. Square root of 106, 10.3, again 1 decimal place. Okay, so you can use your calculator to practice the square root function. Okay, and you shouldn't stop there. You should use your calculator more often. Okay, if you don't have a calculator, you can start making arrangements to get one, because even at school your teacher might ask you to have one. Okay, now today we will examine two quadratic graphs, okay, and find the point of intersection. We'll find it on the graph and then we'll do it algebraically. Okay, in an exam question, they wouldn't ask you to do both. The question will either ask you to do it graphically, or in the non-calculator paper it will come as an algebraic question. Okay, I'm just trying to show you that what you are doing graphically is what you have learned algebraically. Okay, and also show you that our point of intersection from the graph is right. Basically, that is the point. Okay, so example, plot the graph y equals 2x squared minus x and y equals 5 minus x squared in the intervals of x from -4 to 4, and find the point of intersection. Okay, so here we've been asked to plot the graphs. So we are going to plot this quadratic graph because of the x squared and that quadratic graph on one graph and find the point of intersection. Now, the x squared and the x squared tells us it's a quadratic graph straight away. But look at what is attached to the x squared. This is 2, which is greater than 0. So it will be a graph opening upwards. Okay, this is minus 1x squared. So it will be a downward parabola, or a graph, a curve opening downwards. Okay, and that is our interval. Okay, this is what I've just explained to you. Okay, opening upwards and opening downwards. Okay, now our first step is to find the coordinates between -4 and 4. Okay, so we are going to use the table. We've done this in a starter, we've done this in videos, in the more graph videos, so just go and help yourself. Okay, now by now you should be confident in doing the table and getting your coordinates. Okay, so x is between -4 all the way to 4, which I have done here. And then the formula is 2x squared. So now that I have x, I'm going to do x squared first. So if I do x squared, I have 16 minus 3 squared is 9, minus 2 squared is 4. So if I follow through to 4, I have 4, 1, 0, 1, 4, 9, 16. Okay, you can check it. Okay, so first of all, I do x squared, and then I do 2x squared. So x squared times 2. So whatever I get for x squared, I'll multiply by 2. So x squared is 16. 2x squared will be 32. Okay. 2x squared for x squared here will be 18. So basically, I have x squared, and I'm now doubling them. Okay, because I want 2x squared. Okay, so that is my 2x squared. Now there's another minus x. So if x is -4, then minus x will be 4. Remember, I work on integers. Okay, so minus 4, so we get 4. If x squared is -3, then if x is -3, then minus x is 3. Okay, and then minus x for -2 will be 2. Okay, minus x for -1 will be 1. Minus x for 0 will be 0. And then if we come to the whole part, if x is 1, minus x will be -1. So we do that, and then if x is 4, minus x will be -4. So now we've got 2x squared and we've got minus x. So to find y, okay, we just put them together. Okay, so 32 add 4 will be 36, because we need just these two columns. 18 add 3 will be 21. 8 add 2 will be 10. 2 add 1 will be 3. 0 add 0 will be 0. 2 add -1 will be 1. 8 add -2 will be 6. 16 add -3 will be 15. And 32 add -4 will be 24. So actually it helps you. Okay, the table formula helps you. Now x is -4, y is 36. So x is -4, y is 36. X is -3, y is 21. X is -3, y is 21. So I have the x and the y values of the graph that I want to plot. So I have come here, coordinates. So I've written the coordinates down. Okay, here, this one. You can do it straight from the graph, but I prefer to do it down so that as I go along, I take it to know that I have plotted all my 9 points. Okay, now we do the table for y equals 5 minus x squared. So again, we know x is in the interval -4 to 4. Now 5 is a constant, okay? So whether x is minus 4, 0 or 3, we need to find x squared and subtract it from 5. So we have a column for 5 and we repeat 5, okay? When I take it, it means I have to use that to find my y value. Now we need minus x. So if x is we need minus x squared. So first of all, I found x squared, okay, as we did in the first graph, okay. Under exam condition, if you did this right, you can just repeat it, yeah, because it's the same values of x that you are doing. Then after finding x squared, because it's minus x squared, you negate it. So if x squared is 16, minus x squared will be minus 16. Okay, so x squared is 9, minus x squared is 9. So you go through, and then when you come to this side, if x squared is 4, minus x squared is minus 4, okay? X squared is 16, so minus x squared is 16. Now we want 5 minus x squared, so I've taken these two, so these are the two so these are my 5s and these are my minus x squared, okay? So 5 minus x squared, okay, we put them together, so basically we are adding, will give us minus 11. 5 minus x squared, this is the minus x squared, so minus 4. 1, 4, 5, 4, 5 minus 4 is 1. 5 minus 9 is minus 4. 5 minus 16 is minus 16. Here, remember, you are using this 5 and this one, not this one here, because it says minus x squared. So now, when x is minus 4, y is minus 11. So I've listed all the coordinates for this quadratic graph here. So now it's easy for me to plot, okay? Another thing I'll say here is, when you look at the values, now is the value, the x intervals are the same, minus 4 to 4. So on the x-axis, you are plotting two graphs. So you have minus 4 to 4. It's okay for the x-axis, and it's the same for the other graph. But if you look at this quadratic equation, the highest is 36, okay? And then if you look at this quadratic equation, the lowest is minus 11. Okay, so for the y interval, I'm going to plot it such that I can have the negative part going to minus 11 and the positive part going to 36. Okay. So this is what I did. I didn't plot it on a graph paper, okay, but I plotted it on a plain paper. So on my x-axis, okay, I didn't need to shorten it. I have minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0. So by eye judgment, I have about the same intervals. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's my x-axis. Now we found out that on the y-axis we should start somewhere. The lowest we can have is minus 11. So I had 5, minus 5, minus 10, minus 15, minus 20, intervals of 5, minus 5. Okay, and then the top two I did the same. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Again, by eye judgment. Okay. At this time, if you have been with us for all the videos you have, you can plot this point. Okay, you can plot them. So if you plot them correctly, okay, the first graph, this one, 2, and I gave a title, a graph of y equals 2x squared minus x, okay, and y equals 5 minus x squared. Okay, so the first graph, 2x squared minus x, open upwards, and this is it. It goes there through the origin and okay. So I've labeled it. Unfortunately, I haven't labeled the second one, which is y equals 5 minus x squared. 5 minus x squared. Okay. I don't know where my pencil is, and I don't want to write with a pen, so I'll label it later. So now we want the point of intersection. Okay, so here, this is my graph. I'm going to show you. Okay, you can pause it here and draw it yourself to convince yourself, because I've done videos on how to plot coordinates. So if you use the coordinates here, I'm pausing a bit, and there, you should be able to plot it and get these graphs here. Okay, and this is how your graph is going to look. One parabola upwards, opening upwards, and another curve or a parabola opening downwards. Okay, now we have 2 points of intersection, A and B here. Now the point of intersection, because it's not to scale, so here I set my x value for the point of intersection here is about minus 1.1, and the y value is 3.8. That is my A here, that one, this point. Okay, let me zoom in. You should get roughly around these figures. My B, if I zoom in, I said it's about 1.5, because it's nearly between 1 and 2 for the x, and then 2.8 because it gets above 2.5, and I don't think it's nearly 3, so it's about around 2.7, 2.8, 2.9. So that would be my B. So this is the point of intersection from the graph. So if it was exam, that is it, you've done. Okay, unless they ask you to. So if they ask you, that is it. But I went on to do the graphic algebraic part. Okay, so assuming I didn't have to draw the graph, and I needed to find the point of intersection for these two quadratic equations. Okay, now y equals 2x squared minus x. Y equals x minus 5x. So since y equals this formula and y equals this, so the two equations, I can equate the x's as the second part together. Okay, so 1 equals 2. So 2x squared minus x will be equal to 5 minus x squared. Okay. Now, 2x squared, this is minus x squared. So if I bring it to this side, it will be plus x squared. Then minus x, this is plus 5. So if it goes to the other side, it will be minus 5. All equals 0. Now 2x squared plus x squared will be 3x squared minus x minus 5 equals 0. Now I will show you how to solve quadratic equation, okay? But at the moment we can't solve this because we need two numbers, 3 and 5. When you multiply them together, they give you 15. Okay, but when you add those two numbers together, they should give you minus 1. And we can't have any at the moment. So we are going to compare our quadratic equation with this equation. A equals 3. So we can use this formula here. Now, from this equation, A is 3, B is minus 1, and C is minus 5. Okay. Now we are going to use our quadratic formula. X equals minus B plus or minus the root of B squared minus 4AC over 2a. We know what a, b, and c are from this equation. So we get substitute. I'll do a video on that and explain. Okay. Now, x equals 1. That is minus b. B is minus 1, so 1 plus or minus the square root of b squared. 1 squared is 1 minus 4. A is 3. C is minus 5. So 1 plus or minus square root of 61, because 4 times 3 times minus 5 will give us 60. 4 times 3 is 12. Times minus 5 will be minus 60. Now there's a negative here, so it becomes positive 60. So 1 plus 60 will be 61. So you have 1 plus or minus the square root of 61, all divided by 2 times a, and now a is 3, so all divided by 6. So we have two values of x, the plus part and the minus part. So we are going to find the square root of 61. Okay, we add 1, divide by 6. Whatever we get for the square root of 61, we subtract from 1 divided by 6. These are x values. Now, if you use the calculator properly and to 1 decimal place, the square root of 61 is 7.7. So if you add 1 to 7.7, you have 8.7 divided by 6. If you take away 7.7 from 1, you have minus 6.7 divided by 6. Now, so if you do that properly, you have two x value. X will be 1.5 and minus 1.1. Now, you have the x value, so you can put it in any of the quadratic formula. Okay, this one looks a lot easier, so I'm going to use the 5 minus x squared. So when x is 1.5, 5 minus 1.5 all squared. So 5 minus 2.25. Okay, now if you subtract, you get 2.75. So I'm leaving my answer to one decimal place. So when x is 1.5, y will be 2.8. Okay, that is what we found here. Here, 1.5, 2.8. This one, this point B here, approximately. You should be getting approximately these numbers on your graph. Especially if you use a proper graph paper, you should be getting that because we've approximated it to one decimal place. Okay. Now, the second part, when x is minus 1.1, y equals 5 minus 1.1 all squared. So 5 minus 1.21 all minus 1.1 all squared becomes 1.21. If you take away, you get 3.79. Okay, so now your y value when x is minus 1.1 will give you 3.8 to one decimal place again. So when x is minus 1.1, okay, your y value will be 3.8. So this is what we got here. This point A here. So when x is minus 1.1, our y value is nearly 3.8. Okay, so if we can do the graph and get this, okay, exactly. Remember, we've approximated to one decimal place, and also our graph is not to scale because it's not on a graph paper. So even if we didn't do it on a graph paper and we are getting similar intersection, and we did it algebraically to one decimal place, and we are also getting similar, then it means that we can do it. But as I said to you, they can either ask you to find the point of intersection graphically or by algebra. They won't ask you to do both. If it's by algebra, maybe it will be in the non-calculator paper. Okay, or it can also be in the calculator paper because you might have to use the calculator to simplify some of these complex squares and square roots. But as long as you know this formula here, okay, this formula here, you should be able to find your s values and substitute it in one of these y equations and get your y values. Okay, so this is what we have done today. Okay, I know that you know how to plot a coordinate by now if you've been with me for a while, and you can do the table. There are a lot of videos on that. Go and help yourself, if especially you are going to do an exam. Okay, don't wait and a few days for this and then you come and be cramming things in your head. It doesn't work like that. You'll be under a lot of stress. Okay, you want to learn it bit by bit, practice, so that when you go to the exam hall, you take a deep breath and then look at the question, see what they are asking you, and just do it. Okay, so thank you very much for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next.